Hi, my name is Kelley Barker. I graduated in 2012 with a BFA in musical theater. Carrie Hatfield's first year was my freshman year, so we have gone on a journey together. But it's been great to watch her grow into the director, the vocal coach, the professor, the mentor, the mother that she is now. Um, that was 5 years ago. So she has been my voice coach for 3 of those years, and she has been my favorite voice coach that I've ever had, and I've had several. Um, she just really, she really connects to you and what you need with your voice instead of a general, like, overall, like, well, you should know this, you should be able to do this. Well, with your voice, it's gonna, she caters to you, which is something you need. Voice lessons are always a very vulnerable time because you have to fall on your face a lot. Um, but it was very comforting. I loved going to my lessons. Several times I went in there after a really bad week and I would just cry, and she would pray over me and say, "It's okay. Do you want to sing?" And I'd be like, "No." And then she would say, "Okay, we don't have to sing today. We could just work harder next week." Um, I worked with her. One day I came in and I said, "I really want to learn how to riff, Carrie." And she's trained in classical, and so she said, "Okay." And the next week she came back and she had a book on how to riff and how to teach vocal riffs. And she already had read part of it and had exercises for me to do. And that's amazing because I don't know who else is that committed that they would go out of their way to um, go find a book to learn how to teach me something that I want to learn. And she continues to learn, and she has gone to so many conferences, and she's read so many books and gone to so many workshops of just voice teachers of musical theater and learning how to grow with her students and how to musical theater is always changing and how to really be up to date, and that's really great that she does that because a lot of people don't. As a professor, I worked with her. She taught theater history 1 and 2, which has the potential to be a very dull class only because it's in our major. It's one of the only book, like, heavy book studies class instead of a creative class. But she really turned it into a creative, exciting, interactive class. She would take what we were learning in our huge book and she would be like, "All right, stand up on your feet. This is what we're going to do. We're going to, play a game to learn how to do this." Or we learned the Commedia dell'arte stock characters, and she had us split up into groups and do performances that we made up with the characters, and it was a fun day of, like, us doing performances, and she just really knows how to connect with her students, and she knows that we learn a little different. We're not great at just, like, sitting and staring at a book or watching a PowerPoint. Like, we need something sometimes. Um, and she knows her students very well, so she really catered to that, and it made it a great, exciting class. As a director, I worked with her on, I believe it was 3 different productions: Shakespeare in Hollywood, Pirates of Penzance, and King and I. And 2 of those are musicals, so she was also the vocal director in addition to the director, which are 2 huge jobs. And during King and I, she was pregnant, and she still, like, handled it amazingly. So, good job, Carrie. And she's a great director. I really felt like I could talk to her. I felt like I trusted her. If I knew something wasn't working, I didn't have to say, "This isn't working," because I knew she would be like, "Kelley, that's not working. Let's fix it." I really trust her as a director, which is really important. And as a vocal director as well, I always knew if I wasn't getting something and I wasn't sure, I knew she would let me know. And there was never any frustrations over, Titanic. She was also the vocal director, and that was a monster of a show musically. There was so many parts going on around us, and so it was very hard at the beginning to really nail down what you were doing. But she never even like lifted her voice, never got frustrated, never, you know, she's dealing with maybe 60 people on stage who were like, I don't know this part, and she was like, well, let's just go over it again, um, with a grace about her, which she carries in everything she does. She is a mentor of mine. We got very close in school. Our sense of humors are very similar. And honestly, having voice lessons with someone once a week sometimes turns into therapy just in the way that you trust them. So, how's your week? Well, this happened. Oh no, let's talk about it and then let's sing. You know, it's but because of that, she knows her students really well. Um, her family, she has an incredible family, 2 little babies, and they're just a faith-driven family. She always open home, you know. Did you like? I know her family. Her children are always at the theater. Her husband's always there. He's great. Just a very. I feel like they're my family, which is great. But that's part of the ACU experience that I had was my professor's my faculty's family was my family, and I love that. Yeah, I still ask her for advice. I still ask her questions about my voice. You know, I've driven 3 hours just to have a voice lesson with her for an important audition. Because that's how good I think she is, and that's how much she knows my voice. I've texted her questions. Why can't I hit this note? This is the vowel it's on. What should I do? And she's hits back and is like, this is what you need to do. And she's just very committed to what she's doing, and she's very responsible, and she holds her responsibility with a grace, and she's an amazing Christian woman who I don't know how many times has prayed with me about things. And we've gone through a lot together, and she's a great asset to ACU's faculty, and I hope that she continues to be for a very long time, and I hope that other students are as fortunate as I've been. Thank you.